that? Happy holidays from Just One More Story Farm. I feel so bad, that was not graceful. I'm sorry, little goat. I hope everybody's having a great holiday season. Happy Friday farm vlog. I got some new additions this year for my Christmas decorations and I love it. Highland cow, little goat, and 2 chickens. I gotta show you what they look like at night, all lit up. I love this time of year. I'm having so much fun decorating. But we did have a huge windstorm the other day where we lost power, so we didn't have our Christmas lights on, which was sad. But we did make the most of having family time because the kids were home from school. Their school had no power either. We did have this big branch come down, but thankfully it missed our well, it missed our electrical meter, so perfect spot for it to come down. We also had a tree branch go down in our pond, but thankfully no one was hurt. I love this time of year when I get to pull out all of my stockings, and it always puts a smile on my face when I get to see my little goat stockings and my little chicken stockings, kittens, puppies. It's always fun because the stockings have the baby pictures of the Bucks and Amelia, Bedelia, and Fancy Nancy when they were little. Anna, St. Bernard. Even my kids have younger pictures on them from when the stockings were made. Here's our Oaken puppy. The kittens, they were so cute. Now the flock, some of them were the young chicks, some of them were full grown, a lot of chickie babies that are now grown. So cute, and look at little Caden with his little teeth. Such a fun time of year. As for my Christmas tree, I definitely am thinking for next year that I need some goat ornaments and some more personalized farm animal ornaments. Because sure, of course, I got chicken ornaments on my tree, but it's so much more fun when they're personalized. But I do have something I need to talk to you guys about. Has anyone noticed that you haven't seen Doug recently, our cockerel that was really shy that we've been working on to help make him a little bit more socialized so that we can find him a good home? There's a reason for that. He's been living in my garage. Let me get him so I can show you why. Here's Doug. He is getting big. But let me tell you, he got injured and so he's been in our garage. And honestly, I think he loves it because he's getting so much attention. But he ended up getting a small cut on his right foot, and the poor guy, it got infected, it had swelled up, there was pus inside, and when we looked into it, it's actually called bumblefoot in chickens. I had never experienced that before, so we took to Google and asked friends about it that have chickens, and we have been treating it. So this guy, with his foot swollen, has been getting Epsom salt soaks in our bathtub, which honestly he seems to enjoy. And those are 10-minute soaks to help with the swelling, and we did initially drain the abscess as much as we could to get the pus out of there. He was on penicillin G antibiotics, and then we started using Prid. Ooh, where are you going? Ow. And then we started using this, it's called Prid, and it's supposed to draw off the swelling. And because I was having a hard time draining the pus and all the blood in there, and I wanted to make sure that that infection didn't travel up his leg and get worse, and so I ordered this off Amazon and started applying it twice a day, and what a difference it has made it. And you can actually see the swelling being drawn off and forming like a black calloused area where the wound is, and that actually fell off the other day. It was getting pretty big. And so I'm just continuing to do this because I'm still seeing some swelling, but it has gone down a lot. But I want to make sure that we completely get rid of this full infection. But he's been eating and drinking great. He's been doing fantastic. He's totally gotten used to the cats in the garage. He comes out, he drinks their water, he eats their food, just completely takes over. And it's so funny because the cats are used to having chickens come into the garage when chickens are injured. They actually seem to enjoy it. And so he's getting used to them. He was totally scared of them at first, but he's getting used to them. And they're pretty good friends now. They have a nice dynamic going on. But I do keep him in a kennel because I'm trying to keep the bedding as clean as possible to keep the wound clean and keep him from jumping and moving around too much because I don't want him to make the swelling worse or injure it further. And so I'm sure he wants to go run around and such. In the beginning he was limping quite a bit, but I'm not seeing the limp anymore. I think he's feeling a lot better, but I don't want to put him outside out of the crate and back in his coop too early and set him back on his recovery. So we're gonna keep going with this and I'll keep you updated on his progress. But the swelling before, I'll show you that picture, and the swelling now. Go ahead, show me your foot. So it's still a bit swollen and still a little thick, but honestly it's so much better. Back to the garage. I also wanted to update you guys on our chickens. So now that I have an automatic chicken door and the convenience of having the chickens safely going in and the door closing at night has been wonderful, except for the fact that the pullets were still in the chick coop that didn't have an automatic door. So the solution was to move the pullets in. I had noticed that not only were the pullets' combs getting red and they were starting to make noises similar to like the laying hen egg song. It was like they were trying to practice it. No eggs yet, but they are getting so close. And then a few days ago, I saw one of the hens squat in a submissive squat when I went to walk by her. And that is another sign that she's getting ready to lay eggs. And so they really are maturing, getting close to that egg laying stage. So I want to get them moved in with the flock while they're still young, but close to egg laying, because that's where the nesting boxes are. That's where the roosters are. That's where I want them to acclimate. So even though they've been free ranging with the flock, they are now living together. So I moved all the pullets in and got them all set up in the coop. And then the next morning I was excited for the automatic door to open up for them and have everybody come out together and see how everyone's getting along. It didn't open. I was like, oh no, it didn't open. So I went to troubleshoot what was going on because it's been working, and we had that storm, we had the freezing rain, and I realized I never actually like built a little cover for it. So the rain has been going into it, and so it was wet and it was 24 degrees, freezing cold. So I think it did get a bit frozen stuck. So I did look into other options as well. I changed the batteries, which I just had to unscrew the compartment. And when I pulled that compartment off, it was all wet in there. So water's getting in, which is not ideal. So I am going to attempt to build a little structure over it to keep it protected from the freezing rain. I changed the battery, it was running, but it couldn't open, it was stuck. The other thing the instructions said was not to tighten the screws too much because that can prevent the door from opening fully. So I was like, well, maybe it's a combination of it being too tight, rain getting in there, a little bit of ice. So I loosened up the screws and I pushed on the door a little bit to kind of jostle it a bit, hoping that if there was ice, it would break it off. And then I pressed the button, it opened up. So I am hopeful that it's gonna close okay tonight and open back up tomorrow morning just fine. We'll see if that was the solution, but I had to build that little roof for it. Gotta protect it from the elements, it's understandable. My gates and my locks, everything does freeze up after a rain and frozen temperatures, so understandably that would freeze too. But hopefully with a little protection from the element, it'll go better. But it's so cute to see all the little chickie babies coming on out, but the roosters are hilarious. They have to like pop on through. They're so big. And it's just a tiny little opening, but hey, they get through. They are ready to come out, and that does not stop them. So we'll see. So I'll keep you updated as we go with any issues that come up, but hopefully I've got the issues solved. Because I am just so loving the protection of having that opening and closing at the right time, sundown and sunrise, to keep my flock protected. I'm hoping by keeping the chickie babies together in the run for several days that the pullets will get used to that as their new house while not having access to their chick coop, because we know they're going to want to run back to it. But hopefully they'll go back in with the main flock, follow them in tonight, and start the acclimation. But they all came out, nobody was fighting, everybody was just doing their usual, drink some water. Pullets had no problem finding their little water cooler. I moved their water cooler in with the main flock, so that way they'd have plenty of water for the 2 flocks that are now merged. And what a sight to see 29 Buff Orpingtons coming out of this cute little door. It's such a big flock now, it's grown so much, and having those 12 pullets added in. But it will get a little smaller once we find homes for our cockerels, because we are in the process of finding homes for Wilbur, Otto, Wally, and eventually Doug once he's all healed up. But Christmas is in a few days and we'll be celebrating Christmas, and I can't wait to see what Santa brings in our little pets' stockings. I'll be sure to let you know what they get and what they think. If you didn't see last Christmas where the farm animals got to open their stockings. It was so fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it this year. I bet you Ogun doesn't even remember opening his stocking. Do you remember? Do you remember you got a little lamb chops toy? I betcha Anna remembers. And she had said no thank you to her toy, so we'll see if she likes what she gets this year. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you all have a merry, merry, merry holiday and get to experience all the joys of the holiday season. And if you haven't started your farm yet, what are you waiting for? Get your farm on. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want a farm? A wicked awesome farm? Watch this channel to learn what to do. We love to farm and we'll show you.